I am not pro-black, and here's why. Pro-blackness is an extremely flawed concept. Pro-blackness is rife with colorism and ableism and homophobia. And in pro-black spaces, this is never acknowledged. Pro-blackness is also rife with misogyny. And I've seen conversations happening about pro-blackness recently, about how you cannot be pro-black and date outside of your race. If you believe that, that's fair. I'm not trying to convince you to change your beliefs. But I personally am more weary of pro-black people in pro-black spaces because I've been in those spaces and I know those people, and they are colorist and ableist and homophobic. Pro-blackness is what is keeping a lot of black women stuck. If you are a race loyalist, that is perfectly okay. Pro-blackness is also rife with respectability politics. I saw a video from a black male creator just recently, and he mentioned the fact that a lot of pro-black creators are dating outside of their race. I'm gonna stop you there. A lot of us do not consider ourselves pro-black creators. Me personally, I am pro-black woman, which means that I prioritize the health and well-being of black women. I love black women and I center black women in my advocacy and elsewhere. But I've lived on this earth for 33 years. And you know what I know? Many of you want what white people have. You want the power. You want the control. Pro-black should be a space for all black people, but it isn't. It is a space for able-bodied, cishet black men. If you consider yourself pro-black, I'm not here to step on your toes. Kudos to you. Until pro-black spaces become spaces for all black people, then I won't be in those spaces. Black women, date who you want. That shit is crazy.
The issue with black women dating outside of their race, but specifically dating white men, is it eliminates the idea that black women aren't desirable because we're not feminine enough, but we're just not desirable because our men do not marry within their race. Black women and white men typically do not date outside of their race. They typically are very race loyal, as opposed to our counterparts, white women and black men. So a long-standing idea is that black women are too aggressive, too bitter, too rough, too rugged to be wifed, to be married. But if a black woman is able to procure a white man, which is what most black men want to be, because like I've stated before, the black community just wants to be the white community in blackface. And the idea that black women aren't desirable based off of their hair, their look, their bodies, their personalities just wouldn't be true. And the whole idea of pro-blackness is contingent on black men being able to subjugate a group of people. And the only people black men can subjugate is black women. Well, if black women are now aligning themselves with white men, then black men are now at the bottom of the totem pole, which would go against pro-blackness.
Hey, my more brothers, back again. God, the hits just keep on coming. The hits just keep on coming, don't they? I guess this is the age of oversharing, where everybody with a smartphone gets their 5 minutes of fame. That's what it looks like. Now we have some BBWs, big back women, that are obviously educated, because you can tell by the way they use their words. And they are what I call womanists. I think they're womanists. They act like they're womanists, which is this pro-black / feminist. And the reason that womanism was actually started is because black women didn't see black men the same way that white women saw white men. There was a division. There's a division in attitude and a division in how you saw the world. But I'm noticing in this trend where womanists, or pro-black women as they call themselves, turning into these divestors. Now, most of this stuff has nothing to do with black men. I never said that black men said anything to them, approached them any different kind of way, or disrespected them. It's that evidently they're not getting the results from black men that they desire. So they figure they're going to throw all the black men or all the pro-black stuff under the bus and date out. Instead of just saying, you know what, I have a preference of dating white men for X, Y, and Z and go and do it. They don't do that. That's why I'm believing that the argument itself is not with black men. The argument itself is with other black women. The colorism, the featureism, all that kind of stuff has nothing to do with black men. Black men do not walk out in public and start telling black women that they have kinky hair or dark skin or that they're ugly or anything like that. Black men do not do that. They might tell black women they don't prefer weaves and a whole bunch of makeup. Now that black men will do and have done, but black men don't go in on that stuff about colorism, featureism, all that kind of stuff. Black men, for the most part, even when they date out, don't go in on black women. They don't even talk about how they look. It has nothing to do with how they look. It's about how they act. But that is a rabbit hole for a different day. What I'm noticing is that the first young lady, I think it's the first young lady talked about how the pro-black sector is rife with misogynoir, which is a misogyny against black women. I don't know how it could be when most of pro-black is not men. Okay, I've been in those circles. No, you have not. You know how I know how she has not is because just like all black organizations, the pro-black sector is run by women. So you're telling me that the pro-black sector is run by women that hate themselves? And it has featureism, colorism, all that kind of stuff. When they promote natural hair and naturally dark skin and natural body shapes, ableism. In other words, just say you do not like being told that you can't date a white man. That's really all it is. Same thing with the second young lady. You know that white men do not prefer you, okay? If black men if you're not liked by a black man being a heavyset woman, then white men definitely are not going to like you because there's good 50, 60 pounds between a black man's preference and a white man's preference. So you trying to date white and you're 300 pounds as a black woman and try to blame it on us? That's what I don't like about divestors. You blame your lack of dating options on black men. You don't sing the praises of white men. Now, if they were singing the praises of white men, the white men treat me better, white men do more for me, white men take me out, white men have proposed to me, they're willing to marry me and walk me down the aisle, and they're willing to serve me, or whatever you decide that is your preference or your wishes for a man. If they said that, I would be convinced. I would just say, God bless you, baby. If you find happiness on the other side, good for you. Most of the black women that have found their bread that they're 100% happy with, most guys have no problem with. In fact, 99% of the guys have no problem with. Even Dr. Umar never talks about a black woman dating a white man. He doesn't talk about that. Dr. Alvin Poussaint said way back over 50 years ago, I'm wondering if black women are more concerned about the control of black men than they are about racism. I'm wondering if black women are more concerned about the control of black men than they are about their own dating habits. And I think it's frustrating black women that black men do not care about them dating out. Because these two TikTokers never mention about they went through a bunch of their TikToks. They don't talk about them dating white men. They don't talk about their dating experiences with white men or any other kind of race. They're just yelling at black women, date who you want. Black men have been saying that for centuries, date who you want. Black men have never jumped on black women about dating outside of her race. Now on the street, you might get some looks. Ain't no black cops pulling over no white man with a black woman in his car. Ain't no white man gonna walk in a restaurant and all the black men are gonna start sucking their teeth and calling names and stuff like that when a white man walks in with a black woman. They might look at her funny. If you walk up in a black establishment and with a white man, they might look at her funny. The same way you get funny looks if you walked up in, the white man would get funny looks if he walked up into a white establishment with a black woman. Most black men do not care if you divest. Most black men do not care who you date. And for the first sister, the pro-blacks ride the black men way more about their dating options, their dating habits, than they do the black woman. So all this virtual signaling that all these men, especially, are colorists and featurists and yada, 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 because of what they see in the magazines or what they see on TV. None of them say anything about the opposite. And that's the double standard that black men have been taught about for the last, 50 years? Really more than that, almost 100 years. You go back into the Jet magazine in the 40s. Black women were complaining about Asian women back in the 40s because black men could not date a Latina because Latinos were considered white. In fact, I was listening to this young lady. I'm going to actually get that young lady's book about SNCC because she was saying even in SNCC, when they brought white feminists down to help work and coordinate with the committees, they had to separate the black men from the white women. One is because the black women were actually uncomfortable with seeing black men with white women. And two, in the South, white women to a black man was kryptonite. They didn't want black men killed for being seen with a white woman. Even now, today, holding hands with a white woman in public for a black man is taboo. Still is. It's social taboo on all sides. And these women have never enough to complain about date who you want. Nobody cares who you date. Black men have left the building. Elvis has left the building. He doesn't care. So these women who are considered pro-black women that jump on black men about dating and preference and colorism and all this kind of stuff, and then you want to date white and claim it's a revolutionary act, a la Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks said it was white men marrying black women was the revolutionary act. We're not the problem. You complain to black men about you divesting, we ain't the problem. Your target market is white men. Complain to them. Oh, but no, he's master. You can't complain to him. Can't whine to him about him not accepting you. That would be too much. So you dump all this crap on the black men and talk about us like a dog. Why? Because you want a white man. Get the entire hell out of here. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.